are the different kinds of function. Now, we are going to be taking them one after the other. Types of what? Function. One, we have the one we call sine function or Signum function. We can also call it what? Sine function. Now look at this. In sine function, it is when the function is what? Like this. We use SGN to represent what? The sine function. Sine function of what? X. Now when you look at this sine function of what? X, there is a condition placed to it. What is the condition? The sine function of x is 1 when LC is bigger than what? 0. The sine function of what is x is 0 when LC is equal to 0. Then the sine function of LC is minus 1 when LC is less than what? 0. What am I trying to say? I am trying to say that what? If y is equal to sine of what? 200. Because of the value of s here is what? 200, and this 200 is bigger than 0. Your x, which is at this particular point, is bigger than what? 0. So the sine function returns to what we call what? 1. So in this case, sine function of what? 1000 is equal to what? 1. But sine function of what? 0 is equal to 0. Sine function of what? Minus 200. Minus 200 is smaller than what? 0. 0 is bigger than what? Minus 200. So therefore, when the value of s is less than 200, the sine function becomes what? Minus what? 1. So if I have sine function of minus 1 million, their answer is equal to what? Minus 1. Because 0 is bigger than what? Minus what? 1 million. This is the first function. The second function is a function we call heaviside function. In heaviside function, we use h to represent the function. Heaviside function of what? X. The heaviside function has what? A condition. What is the condition? It is equal to 1 when LC is greater than what? 0. But it is equal to what? 0 when LC is less than or equal to what? 0. So you can see the heaviside function has only two conditions. What are the conditions? The conditions are what? When the value of LC is what? 1. That is when LC is bigger than 0. The heaviside becomes what? 1. So any value that is bigger than 0, the heaviside of it is what? 1. Then when the LC is less than or equal to 0, the heaviside becomes what? 0. So you can see, if I give you a function like heaviside of what? Minus 500, you can see in this function, you can see that what? Minus 500 is smaller than what? 0. So the condition is what? On this particular what? Point. So the heaviside of this particular thing is what? 0. The heaviside of what? 2 is equal to what? 1. Why? Because 2 is what? Bigger than what? 0. This is the condition. Then the heaviside of what? Minus 5 is equal to what? 0. So you can see in this case that what? The heaviside can only operate on 1 and 1.